Willkommen zurück, live aus LA. Wir haben super coole Gäste am Start. Das ist der Tobi und das ist der Dan. Sie kommen von den Warhorse Studios und sie haben uns ihr neuestes Meisterwerk mitgebracht. Hi guys.
Hello.
Tobi spricht Deutsch, Dan spricht Englisch. But do you understand a little bit German? Because you're 1/3 German, right?
Only swear words and then...
That's something. It's something. Yeah. So let's start with Tobi because he can speak German.
Du kannst ruhig nehmen.
Dankeschön.
Nur wenn du gleich spielst, halte ich dir dein Mikro.
Ja. Was habt ihr uns mitgebracht für ein schönes Spielchen?
Und zwar habe ich heute mitgebracht Kingdom Come Deliverance, unser Spiel, das wir nächsten Sommer rausbringen wollen. Und zwar ist das ein Mittelalter-Rollenspiel, was im Mittelalter Böhmen stattfindet, also im Heiligen Römischen Reich. Und sich dadurch auszeichnet, dass es eben historisch korrekt ist, Dungeons und No Dragons und keine Magie beinhaltet. Und wir eben versuchen, historisch korrekt das Mittelalter darzustellen.
Okay.
Are you guys from the Czech Republic? Or okay.
Yep, we are from Prague.
So this is actually the area where you're from? Or?
Basically, the game is set at the beginning of 15th century, mostly in Bohemia. And it's not in Prague or somewhere. It's a region near Prague, which is quite beautiful. And the interesting thing is that the stuff that happened historically there suited well our story. So we used the area that's quite unknown but very beautiful and has a lot of the settings that look cool.
Do you guys still do the Fenstersturz in Prague?
What is this?
It's like throwing people out of the window.
Yeah.
We should still a thing
it.
there.
We should do it again, I would say.
Yeah.
That never dies. That never gets old.
Okay, guys, you actually brought your game with you, which is fantastic because now you can play and we can talk and our audience can see something. So let's start.
Nehme ich dir das ab? Dazu muss man sagen, dass du vielleicht kurz noch, du hast erzählt, du bist ohne uns wärst du gar nicht bei diesem Studio gelandet, ist ein bisschen dick aufgetragen jetzt, aber so ein bisschen in die Richtung, oder?
Naja, es stimmt schon, weil als das Kickstarter-Projekt von Kingdom Come Deliverance lief irgendwann im Februar 2014 ab und endete im März und war relativ erfolgreich, kann man sagen. Und lustigerweise, ihr habt einen Bericht darüber gemacht, über Kickstarter und über dann und über den bärtigen Mann eben aus Prag. Und in der Zeit bin ich nach Prag umgezogen, um dort zu studieren. Und habe dann in einem Apartmentgebäude gewohnt. Und eines Tages ist dann halt ein etwas dickerer, bärtiger Mann in den Aufzug eingestiegen, hat sich vorgestellt und ich habe ihn mir angeschaut und gesagt, den kenne ich irgendwo her. Und dann hat er sich noch vorgestellt, Daniel Warres, das kann nicht sein. Bin ich in mein Apartment hochgegangen, habe gegoogelt, habe gesagt, 2 Wochen vorher habe ich es bei euch bei Game One noch gesehen. Und ja, dann wollte ich dann eben, ich habe Journalismus studiert, wollte bei ihnen arbeiten, die hatten nichts für einen Journalisten, dann wollte ich ihn creepen, weil er unter mir gewohnt hat.
He's
und dann
stalker?
Yes, yeah. I tried to stalk him, but that didn't work out, das hat nicht geklappt. Und dann eines Tages, Donnerstag nachts, 9:30 abends, ist dann eben die Marketing- und PR-Abteilung sucht einen neuen und dann habe ich ihn halt fix angezogen, Treppe runter an die Tür geklopft. Ich weiß, wer du bist, ich finde dich geil, komm, lass uns zusammenarbeiten.
Und ich wohne 2 Stöcke da oben drüber.
Und ich wohne über dir.
Ey, also so, ich nehme es dir wieder ab, weil du willst ja jetzt spielen. So kann es gehen, ne? Das ist Schicksal, wunderbar. Und jetzt bist du hier und stellst dieses wundervolle Spiel vor. Oh Mann, das sieht aber auch schön aus. Yeah, maybe you will explain a little bit about the game, why it's such a great game.
So basically it's a first-person medieval realistic RPG, so it means it's some mixture between Witcher and Skyrim. It has a lot of freedom and open world stuff like Skyrim does. It's a first-person game like Skyrim. You can do most of this, like almost everything. You can kill almost anyone, you can steal stuff, you can break into buildings, you can go anywhere you want. You can also do a lot of activities in the game that are not connected with the story. You can collect herbs, make potions, sell it to the merchants and all that stuff. But on the other hand, unlike Skyrim, we concentrate, and like Witcher, we are concentrating more on the storytelling. So the story is very important. We have a lot of moral choices. Every quest could be fulfilled in several different ways. So
can I quickly interrupt to quote some guys from our chat? They say, like Koala Bear says, "Wow, nice." Chris says, "Wow." Sir Smoke a lot 85 says wow. Roro Fund says nice.
So much wow.
Yes.
It's so much
They
wow.
all play World of Warcraft? Or what?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I want to say.
They play real life.
No, it really the visuals are stunning. I mean, and you aren't even done. You said it's going to be till
next year.
Sunday.
Should be next year.
Summer next year.
Yeah.
Next Sunday would be nice.
Next Sunday. Yeah. So who are the bad guys? I mean, if you say it's more realistic, who is the one that makes you wander through all that?
So it's set in a real world, in actual historic events, and basically the background of the story is that Germans will probably know Emperor Karl IV. So it was our emperor as well. We were part of the Holy Roman Empire, and after he died, the King Wenceslas, who was supposed to be his heir, was more interested in women and booze than in ruling the empire. So his brother Sigismund, next emperor, kidnapped him to force him to be an emperor. He was the only guy in the world who didn't want to be an emperor. Everybody wants to. So he kidnapped him and tried to force him to be an emperor, or to step down and let him be an emperor. And after he kidnapped him, he also invaded Bohemia with a Hungarian army and started to plunder the country for silver. We started quite ugly civil war, and during the civil war your hometown was burned down, your family was killed, and now you are in the service of a noble who is trying to help the king out of captivity. So this is the backstory, and basically you are living in a world that's torn by war, and the biggest enemies are humans, which were the core of the Hungarian army, and they are kind of Eastern warriors, something like Tatars or Mongols. They are quite unusual in Central European setting, so quite scary. They are the main enemy, basically, and your goal is to save the king or avenge your family. And the lead character also has a problem for being a coward, because he's the only one who's survived the massacre. So he feels that he kind of betrayed everyone, so he wants to have some redemption and help people that are affected by the war as well.
So this is actually true history,
yes,
which is
yes.
like the basic for the story. So I like that very much, because history has so much to offer. You don't need to come up with a fancy story when there's so much you can grab from history.
It actually sounds more interesting if you can't rely on magic or bad guys who are coming from like multiple dimensions or whatever. It's more interesting if you have to explain why countries or people are fighting against each other without like a real reason.
We don't have to write the lore like fantasy games, because it's already there. Interesting thing is that it also has a little bit.
Sorry, but that's just stunning. Really, that's really great.
It's worth saying that the whole world is based on real-world locations. So basically, we have a height map, a satellite height map of the world, and basically the terrain is almost identical to the actual terrain there. So we can go to the locations in the game and see that we are basically having the same space. And then our artists go on location, they take pictures of basically everything and they do it into the game. So if there is a church in the game, it's very likely that is absolutely... If the state of current church is similar to the medieval one, because they were changed over time, the things that are identical as they were in medieval times, they are identical in the game as well.
That's cool.
It's an 1:1 scale? Or did you change stuff just to make it more fitting?
Compressed. We removed several areas that were kind of boring, like large fields or something. So the map is assembled from like 3 parts that are a little bit few kilometers from each other. But basically, it's taking place on an area that's about 16 square kilometers large. So we can open the map probably.
So what happened there? Oh, sorry, you want to show them that, but there was a lot of
that was the massacre,
people
right?
sleeping.
Yeah, in their own blood.
It's worth saying this is the alpha that we are providing to our backers. This version was going to be released in like 2-3 weeks. Basically, the small map that Toby was just showing was the old alpha version, which was quite small. And this is the area that's in this current version. It's like 3 square kilometers, and the cloud-covered area is the final map. It's like 16 square kilometers, which is about, let's say, it's a little bit less than Skyrim and a lot more than Oblivion, I would say. There are like 2 cities, several villages, few castles, and it's quite hard to. One of the problems we had when designing the game was to choose the location, because in real world stuff happens in the whole country, and we had to squeeze the story into a small area and put all the interesting stuff that happened or that's worth mentioning in the story on the small area. And this area is quite nice because it has very beautiful locations, and we have to improvise a little bit to squeeze everything in there.
So you guys made like a compressed history lesson.
Yes, I did a lot of research over the last couple of years. We have a full-time paid historian in the team, so everything we don't and we are kind of insanely interested in details. So, for example, we don't have tomatoes and corns because they were imported from America and Asia or whatever. We don't have white chickens because white chickens were invented later. We have brown ones. But there's also a lot of living history people who are kind of instantly bombarding us with information because, well, you have a wrong trousers there. They should be different color.
Are you stupid? The color blue was not invented yet.
I won't buy this game.
Yeah.
But this game sucks.
Currently, they are friendly. So far, they are very friendly because nobody did this before. So they are happy that at least someone tries. And we would like to do it as accurately as possible. I actually am very interested in medieval history, so I would like to kind of use this as a time machine to get there and see how people lived. That's one of the parts that may be interesting for someone.
I come from a village, and it looks exactly like the village here, I gotta say. But I don't know. I'm just talking for Germany.
So can you tell me how this game actually plays?
Well, it's very similar to, as I said, it's very similar to Skyrim. So basically there is a main story, but it waits for you. If you don't like it, you can go around and play sub-quests, some activities, similar to Red Dead Redemption. When you travel the world, you can go anywhere basically from the start. Mm-hmm. And when you travel around the world, you meet people, there are random events, somebody attacks someone, you can help him or help the attacker. You can get jobs, you can search for some treasures. So basically it's very similar to...
And then you level up.
There's quite sophisticated RPG system behind it, and then there is a main story which is like 20 hours. I would say it's epic. It's a cliche, but it's a quite epic story. So there are some castle sieges. There's going to be big battle. A lot of betrayal and moral choices. So just like Witcher, I would say.
Can you already show the fighting? Or
yes, we could.
I would love to see that.
It's still first version. The fighting is quite one of the biggest things in the game. It's also the most trickiest thing to do because we do it the hard way. Mm-hmm. It's physics based, so it means that there are actual collisions when you fight. In most games, you just swing your sword through the enemies and there's some animation particle. But in our game, the sword actually slides on the armor. It hits the other sword. There are collisions, proper physical reactions on the opponent and you. So it's quite different. We also have quite sophisticated clothing systems. So basically, there are 16 different slots on every character, not only you, but every character in the game, and you can layer your armor to best fit your needs because each armor is good against different weapons, different types of attacks and weapons.
Try that too.
And basically, we are working with actual medieval swordsmen who are trying to fight according to old fact books. We aim for the accuracy or how do you say it? Immersion and accuracy, so even the fencers would say like yeah, this is how fencing works. Yeah. Because in most games it doesn't work like that in real world. I even tried to fence myself.
I once saw a documentary about how the people in medieval actually fought, and it looked totally different from what I would have expected. Yeah. Because what they did is they both had this armor, like full body armor, iron armor, whatever, steel, I don't know, and then they clashed against each other, and they were like wrestlers. They were wrestling, yes. And then the one who was stronger like put the other on the ground, and as soon as someone was on the ground, he was vulnerable, and the other one was stabbing him with the sword.
That's exactly how it works in our case.
Really?
Oh, really?
So basically, if you don't have an armor, you can be killed by one blow to the head. So if you meet such an opponent, he's very vulnerable. But if you meet a guy in full plate armor, it's super tough to kill him, because basically you can't do him any harm with a sword or anything. So the whole combat is stamina based. The blue gold bar in the middle of the health is your stamina. As you can see, it replenishes and it depletes when you are hit or when you attack. And basically the same applies to the opponent. So you need to exhaust him, push him to the ground, and finish him with some combo or something.
It's very unique and interesting.
And basically, as I said, the combat is supposed to be as accurate as possible, which is quite hard with there's a lot of compromises thanks to the way the games are controlled and stuff. But on the other hand, our aim was to enable player to control combat similar to first-person shooters, so you can choose from which direction you want to attack. Just like you would in a first-person shooter, you would aim for the head or hands or something.
Yeah.
And then you can attack by different like slash or step on each body part, and then you can chain your attacks, and which will result in combos, which can you use to bring the opponent down and stab him or something. You can also block. You can block forever basically and deflect everything if you have stamina. But if you block perfectly, there's some kind of bullet time where you can choose the perfect counter attack, and you seamlessly go to counter attack. And there's several types of it. And if you go to clinch, you can push, kick, or use the pummel to hit the opponent just like this. And basically, you can see you need to exhaust the guy and finish him with some combo. Right now they are just training, so it will stop before you kill him, but that's the way it works. It's quite different than other games. It's definitely not one button meshing as usual. So there is a lot of tactics and strategy to it. It still needs a lot of polish. It's still alpha basically.
Oh, now you killed him.
But
But that was just training.
Boom shakalaka.
But I have to say, this is I'm very excited. This is how the consequence. You were very straight. You know, you don't make compromises. You say this is a game I want to make. I want it to be as realistic as it can be. And I think it's great that you go for it.
Thanks.
But it sounds like a nightmare for marketing, PR.
Well, actually, everybody thought this. Well, but actually,
on my side.
We were not able to find a publisher because everybody said this. But what we did, thanks to our investor, he asked the company to do research for us on like quite a huge crowd of people. And since we think that Germans are one of our main target groups, we did it in Germany and in US. It was like 1,000 people in Germany and US, and we asked them, like basic players, if you have a PC or Xbox at home, you are the person we want to ask. And we asked them what they think about the idea, about the game, about different features of the game. And surprisingly, unlike publishers, everybody told us that this is very unique. They would definitely want to play, that they are tired of fantasy. They like the setting, they like the medieval period, and they would like to have first-person medieval combat. And I was like, somebody bribed the company who was doing the research, because it's impossible. Basically, everybody said this, and publishers were afraid that nobody will like it, actually. So then we went to Kickstarter and we made a lot of money. Which kind of
sounds wrong phrased. you got a lot of money to develop the game.
It's still like a tenth of what we need to develop the game. Actually, so
we have the same problem. We
have too much money.
We don't know where.
So we bought this house here in Hollywood. We don't know what to do with it.
That Ferrari out there is yours?
Yeah, everything on the.
And the second one as well.
Yeah.
That whole area here you see about 1 kilometer.
I want to read. One comment that I want to read it out loud that I saw, but I have to find the guy who said it.
Great.
Yeah, both are there as well.
One second. Tomato 67 said it's not accurate because bullet time was invented in 1853. I think that was funny. So,
but so we have a boss as well. They are also there's a trick to it. So bow is a quite ultimate weapon. English longbow is it's very powerful, but like no one is able to draw it actually because it's so heavy. It's like 130 pounds to draw it fully.
Oh,
Yeah.
So you have to be very strong, and at the same time it's a little bit slow. And the point is that we don't have any aiming cross, so you have to aim with your intuition, and it's very hard because the line of sight and the line of the arrow are not parallel; they are interconnecting somewhere. So you need to have quite guessing where the point is and where the arrow will land. But if you learn it how to do it, it's quite ultimate weapon because you can almost insta kill even the strongest enemies. But as you can see, it's quite hard to hit anything, even if it's not moving.
Is it a long bow or a short bow?
This is a long bow. It's not the most powerful one. We will have even bigger one, I guess. Do
you have short bows as well, or just long bows?
I'm not sure. I would say most likely yes. I think this is not the biggest bow you can actually have in if you are archer. I hope we will also have crossbows, but the thing is that as you get better at the skill, you are leveling this up as well. We have a archery potion. You already drink it. So basically, your aiming gets better. It's zooming a little bit, so it makes the aiming easier. It's harder for Toby.
Yeah,
every time he uses
can't work with the zoom. It's like I need to have it far away, or I don't get them.
But it's get easier. Also, when you draw a bow, you can't hold it forever. It's hard to even draw it. So to hold it in this position is very hard. And I was told that the bow can kind of explode. It can break down and or implode. So it's not a good idea to actually do it. So the handshake starts when you hold it too long and you release the bow anyway, arrow anyway.
This is so cool. I read once that the knights came to an end when the longbow was invented.
Longbow, crossbow, and then the firearms.
That was the end of the knights. So.
Basically, the period we have in the game is the period when the firearms started to be used. So we don't have any firearms yet, but they already were in use somewhere in Europe.
Oh, and I saw, I don't know if it was a quite popular video on YouTube, I guess. It was a guy who dedicated his life into understanding how a short bow worked in medieval times. And now he had this short bow. This is, we played a pen and paper character. My character was actually a genius without a bow. He never used a bow because
I've never seen his genius.
Yeah, that's the problem. But I researched this video in order to say, to tell the game master how I can play. But this is why he never gave me a bow, actually. But
Too good.
What I want to say is that he was so agile and he could fire like 3 arrows in a second. And it sounds impossible, but if you see it, it's amazing. And he hits every time. And if you imagine that archers back in medieval times did this as a profession,
I would say that this is kind of a. Well, I read responses to like other archers, and they were like, "This is like something like circus trick."
Okay.
Because if you want to kill someone, you can't do it that fast because it will be very weak. The arrow will not penetrate anything except like apple or something.
Okay.
But definitely it's awesome what he does. But probably the humans. The enemies, they have like horse archers and stuff, so they would be able to do similar stuff. I'm not sure if we will have horse archers in the game. It's too complicated, I would say.
Very disappointing.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm very hyped. I think it looks fantastic.
Very impressed.
Yeah.
Really, it's going to be awesome. Not because of the graphics, not because of whatever the gaming world, just because of you are a team of guys who don't make compromises, and that's even rarer than all the other shit we've been talked about. It's just. Yeah, I think you got a great game. You got a great community who funded you and made you a very rich man, obviously.
Actually, we met like the house we met with Toby is a 16th century palace where we live next to the Prague castle.
Oh, okay.
Like
you bought a castle, okay?
Yeah.
That's all I heard. Well, now of course you're spending all your money on the game, which you have to develop for almost a year from now on.
Yep. So it's should be.
There's water. I wanted to ask you where the water is. Where is all the water?
Where's all the water?
But you can't use boats or stuff. You can just
no, the water you can swim. There is
swimming was invented in 1748. So
and the knights were especially good at it.
Swimming in armor is quite a tough sport.
Yeah, of course. I mean beach armor. You know, it's a smaller version. It's much like a tanga.
Beach ready armor. Yeah. It's kind of made of this floating metal that helps you. Yeah. Well, there is a German movie actually. I know the Rosemary Merchant or some such shitty writer that wrote soap operas wrote a movie about the same period as we do. It's German movie. It's called Horror of something. It's
Horror of something.
Hure. Some Hure in German. Hure of something. It's set in Bohemia.
Wanderhure?
I don't know. Like
it's actually you mean
set in
the
Bohemia.
traveling horse?
And there is a knight who swims in full metal armor, and there is ninja in Bohemia who is able to shoot, and the King Wenceslav is actually a bandit. So it's almost as historically accurate as we are.
Yeah, we struggle sometimes with history.
I saw it and I was like, wow, this is the best movie ever.
I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry you had to see that. Yeah. In Germany, we call that RTL. No,
RTL. We call it RTL.
We call it RTL.
Yeah. When it's historical accurate, we call it RTL.
So, guys, that's a perfect final image that will sell your game. I hope.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for coming. Really.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Guest, so
thank
we have
you
to kick you out, but
you can grab a beer out of the fridge if you want.
We already did.
Yeah, you already did. Yeah.
The Jeep is packed.
By the way, we are selling our own beer as well.
Yes.
You do?
We are a brewery as well.
As medieval people did.
Yeah.
Do you have the Reinheitsgebot?
Way better than the Reinheitsgebot. The
Yes?
double Reinheitsgebot.
double Reinheitsgebot.
No, we will be at Gamescom, so if you
Absolutely.
come and meet us, you can taste it. We will bring a full load of beer with us.
Okay.
That's an argument, but we don't need it because the game is argument enough. But the argument is the wrong word. It's I wanted to, in German, argument means a reason. It's like a reason to come, but in English it means quarreling, right? So this was not a good word. But what I want to ask is, I read in the comments someone asked if you can participate in the beta. Beta.
If him can participate.
He wants to
but
play.
basically the game is out for the backers, and you can still back the game, so you can still be a backer and get the game.
If you back it, you can always
this version we are showing with the combat is going to be available like in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It was premiered here at E3 with the trailer, but it's going to be out for the backers in 3 weeks. So you need to spend like $50 to be able to play alpha. And we will release beta by the end of the year, hopefully. It will not be full beta, it will be like 20% of the final game. And the game should be released next summer, hopefully.
Wow.
Which is always hard.
Good luck for your timing. I hope everything goes well. Und ich hoffe, du bist dann noch da.
Ja, super, auf jeden Fall.
Don't fire him, please.
Please not. But
Well, we came late and it's his fault.
Mine?
Yeah.
And JR's, yeah.
Always the German. The German is always.
It's always a German. Yeah. No.
So,
blame the German guy, right?
yeah. So, guys, thank you very much again for being here.
It was
Looking
pleasure.
forward seeing you on Gamescom.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will definitely visit you guys.
Yes.
Or you will visit us. We'll see.
Of course.
Yeah.
Prague is a nice city, just saying.
I know, I visited Prague, and it's like every 10 meters there's a guy with a flyer handing the flyer out for very cheap nudes. And a cheap horse. And
These are typical Czech guys.
Talk about that again. Maybe we will visit you.
Yeah, maybe.
Because of the game, to do stuff with the game, you know. We'll visit Prague.
Keyword banana show.
Banana show.
No. Don't Google that.
No, don't do it.
Don't go that low. Don't go banana show. My dad always said that.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have a short commercial break called Werbung in Germany.
Werbung!
And Werbung!
Wir machen
Werbung! Wir schalten Werbung ein!
Ja!
Schnell!